Arizona.
Time now for your forewarned weather with Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy.
Keeping our eyes to the skies tonight. Alana, not a bad view here in Utah.
No, it's beautiful, Sarah. We've got a really nice Friday, and we want to keep that trend heading into our weekend. We begin with that live view from West Valley, where we just have a little bit of cloud cover over the Wasatch, the snow-capped Wasatch. It's been quite the week. With our wet weather and colder air, temperatures are slightly below average right now. So we look at our satellite radar, high pressure, though, is building, and that's changing the game. Drier conditions moving in with a warming trend that will hold as we get through Sunday. That northerly flow keeps our temperatures at bay, which is why we're still running a few degrees below average. Let's talk moisture for a second, because if you look at the entire state, this map shows the percentage of normal when it comes to our wet weather. Well, a lot of us sitting in that 50 to 80% of average, but look at the Wasatch Front, 250% of normal. Not a huge surprise, because this is the wettest October ever in Salt Lake City. But when you see this for the entire state, we see that the wet weather has really moved in and taken over. We now have jumped since our storm totals this week to the 5th wettest month ever. So not only is it the wettest October, it's now in the top 5 for the wettest month ever. And we've got 2 weeks left. So we're not done. We could see storms. We could add to that. Who knows where we're going to end up? As we look at our annual precipitation calendar in Salt Lake City, it tells the weather story, because this line is average. And we've seen some pretty great months. February, March did well. We were close to average in May. August overperformed. But look at October. We're almost shy, just shy of 5 inches here. That's nearly 4/10 of the precipitation we've seen for the entire calendar year. So this is really monumental when it comes to moisture, and it's impacting our drought. The newest drought standings are out, and we actually have made some progress here. I know your eye is likely drawn to the red. Mine is anyway. That's our extreme drought. 6% of the state facing that. That is down from 13% last week. Okay, let's look at the severe drought, which you see in dark orange. 61% of Utah facing severe drought. You're going, Alana, that's a big number. Yeah, but it was 71% last week. This moisture is helping. And for the first time in months, moderate drought, which has been sitting at 100% throughout the summer, has backed off. It's now at 98%. So wet weather helps, especially when it comes to our drought standings. It's dry today and fairly quiet. Great shot from Bryce Canyon as people out there enjoying Bryce Canyon country. Gets cold at night, but Bryce is always nice. Temperatures in the 50s right now, 57 in Salt Lake, 65 is our average. We see places like Green River closer to that, 60s in Grand Staircase and Hanksville, 50s for the I-15 corridor, and a lovely 70 degrees in St. George. Our temperature change just shows that warming trend started. Look at where we were 24 hours ago. We were 10 degrees cooler than where we were at this point yesterday. We're now warmer, which is nice, 10 degrees warmer, 4 degrees in places like Salt Lake. But as you look throughout the entire state, it just shows that numbers are on the up and up, and we'll keep that trend as we head into our Saturday. There's our high pressure taking over, dry conditions. It acts as a storm block, which means a beautiful Saturday's ahead. Into Sunday, things start to change. We get warm temperatures, but we get a little bit of a cold front that sneaks on through into the evening hours. Initially, this had more moisture, but it's backed off. We could see a few light showers on the state line towards Bear Lake, Cache Valley, southwestern Wyoming. We'll see some wet weather, but most of us will just feel the temperature change. We'll probably be about 10 degrees cooler to start the work week than where we sit on Sunday. Big picture showing the high on the move. High keeps us quiet for tomorrow, which I hope you can get out and enjoy. That low sends the front through. We get some cooler air spilling into northern Utah. We quiet though, and then as we head into the midweek, we're watching a quick hitter that could bring the slight chance of a storm. I'll let you know on that, but then it moves pretty quickly, and the latter half of next work week will actually be fairly quiet. Holy War forecast, we just talked about it. A lot of folks are excited. You know, last week the Utes game was terrible. It was so wet. We had thunderstorms. Here we go. We're going to have some redemption for the Utes and Cougs fans, because we've got temperatures in the 60s and 50s, clear skies, sunshine. Whoever you're rooting for, I hope they win. That's how I feel today. Right now, 50s and 60s for tomorrow. I said go Utes at 4. So you know what? If you're watching and you've seen me, I don't want to say it, talk out of both sides of my mouth. I'm sticking with the Utes. 60s for tomorrow, 76 in St. George. I do love the Cougs too. It's just this time I'm going Utes. St. George 7-day show in the 70s, turning to 80. This is a beautiful 7-day in Washington County. Yes, it's dry, but they get sunshine. Temperatures around average. And then slightly above it and then slightly below it. Wasatch Front, beautiful weekend. Really nice. That cold front drops our temperatures to start the week, but still really close to where we should be. And then Wednesday brings a slight chance. But other than that, very quiet from the last 3 weeks we've seen in Utah.
And we will welcome that break. And it's what you want to hear in the sports world, too, right?
As long as the weather's good for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We'll talk more.